Hello and welcome to Radhika's Sweet Pea Tales. Today's special story is about a little girl called Jenna who experiences some magic in her life. So come, let's enjoy it together. Jenna's Gran wasn't like other Grans. She didn't come visiting very often and she never ever baked cookies or knitted colorful jumpers. Not ever. You see, Jenna's Gran was an explorer. She was always off visiting some faraway corner of the world. So she didn't have time for visiting and baking like ordinary Grans. But Jenna didn't care. She thought her Gran was just brilliant. When she did come to stay, she always gave Jenna the most fantastic presents. And she always told the best stories about her adventures. So you can imagine how excited Jenna was when Gran came to stay for the summer. She couldn't wait to see what wonderful things Gran had brought back with her this time. But the only thing Gran brought was the biggest, ugliest wardrobe Jenna had ever seen. "You don't mind me storing it in here, do you?" Gran asked as it was pushed into Jenna's tiny bedroom. "But why do you need such a big wardrobe?" asked Jenna. "Oh, well, things aren't always what they seem," winked Gran. But Jenna wasn't really listening. She was busy thinking how ugly the wardrobe made her room look. Jenna lay glaring at the wardrobe while Gran told her a bedtime story. "And that's how I stopped the Tikuti tribe from burning the wardrobe," finished Gran. But for once, Jenna wasn't listening to Gran. In fact, Jenna wasn't very happy. Gran had forgotten to bring her a present. And to make matters worse, she had cluttered up Jenna's beautiful bedroom with her horrible wardrobe. It wasn't even as if Gran had that many clothes. The next morning, a letter arrived for Gran. "Fantastic," she said after reading it. "I've been invited to lead an expedition up the Katani River. The only thing is, I have to leave today." Jenna was very sorry to wave her Gran goodbye. And she was even more sorry that she didn't take her horrid wardrobe with her. That night, after Jenna had said good night to Mum and Dad, she sat on her bed staring at the wardrobe. Why did Gran want such an ugly thing? What did she keep in it? Jenna was sure that Gran wouldn't mind if she took a quick peep. She slipped from the bed and tiptoed over to the wardrobe. Before she even touched it, the door swung open. A soft breeze seemed to come from the wardrobe. Jenna crept closer. It smelled lovely, just like a forest. Jenna stepped in and pushed past one of Gran's old raincoats. Suddenly, she felt herself falling. She closed her eyes and waited for the bump, but she landed on something soft. When she opened her eyes, she blinked twice, then pinched herself. She must be dreaming. She was no longer inside Gran's wardrobe. Instead, she seemed to be in a beautiful sunny forest. "Hi, Jenna," said a voice. "We've been expecting you." Jenna looked up and was surprised to find herself being spoken to by a colorful bird. But where am I?" whispered Jenna, feeling just the tiniest bit afraid. "You're in the wardrobe," chirped another voice. Jenna looked around to find that it belonged to another bird. "Gran told us that you'd be popping in," he continued. But birds don't talk," stuttered Jenna. "In the wardrobe, everything speaks," said a tree, helping Jenna to her feet. "That's just the way things are." Just then, Jenna heard the toot of a horn. "Look smart," cried the tree. "His Nibs is coming." Jenna watched in amazement as a funny cart pulled by two rabbits rattled into view. "Welcome, welcome," cried a voice, and out jumped a little man, the funniest little man Jenna had ever seen. He was no bigger than Jenna, but his head was just enormous. And on his head, he wore what looked like a dustbin. "Ah, I see you are admiring my crown," smiled the funny little man. "It blew in from the world outside one day. Isn't it the finest crown you've ever seen?" Jenna tried very hard not to laugh. "Anyway, allow me to introduce myself. I am Tooty Turtle Toof, the king of the wardrobe. But my friends call me Toot for short." He shook Jenna's hand so hard that her feet almost left the ground. "As granddaughter of Gran the Great, who saved the wardrobe from being burnt at the hands of the Tikuti tribe, you are an honored guest here. And as it's not every day that we have honored guests, we are going to have a party." Toot clapped his hands and the wood jumped into action. Trees shook their branches so that fruit and nuts fell onto plates below. Birds dropped berries from the sky. Chattering creatures carrying trays of cakes and sandwiches appeared out of nowhere. Other creatures danced around, decorating the place with colorful flowers and leaves, and jugs of sparkling drink appeared out of thin air. "Let the party begin," cried Toot, and a band of squirrels started to play a lively tune. Toot passed Jenna a glass of foaming pop and she sat down on a handy rock. "Hey, giraffe," shouted a voice. "Rocks have feelings too, you know." Jenna leapt up. "Sorry," she gasped. "I forgot that everything in the wardrobe can speak." Jenna had a wonderful time. She made friends with everyone, including the rock, who even let her sit on him after a while. Later in the evening, everyone gathered around to sing a song about how Jenna's Gran had saved them from being burnt in the Tikuti tribe's fire. "She's wonderful," said Toot after they had finished singing. "She often pops in and she's even promised to find a safe place for the wardrobe. A place where somebody will always look after us." "Let's hear it for Jenna and her Gran," shouted Toot. "Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!" "Oh, I feel a little sleepy," yawned Jenna. A little while later, after she had drunk her third nettle pop and eaten her fourth honey sandwich. I think I'll just lie down for a little while. She lay down on a soft bed of grass and closed her eyes. The last thing she remembered was being covered in a blanket of purple leaves by a flock of tiny hummingbirds. When she awoke, she was no longer in the wardrobe. She was in her own bed. I had the most fantastic dream, she told her mum and dad at breakfast. Well, it looks like you've been climbing through a hedge, laughed Dad, pulling something out of her hair and handing it to her. Jenna looked down to see what Dad had pulled out of her hair. It was a purple leaf. Jenna tingled with excitement. Her adventure in the wardrobe must have been real after all. Oh, yes, said Mum. Gran called last night and said to tell you that you can keep the wardrobe. Can't see what you would want with it though. Oh, well, things aren't always what they seem, smiled Jenna. I will keep it safe forever. Jenna just could not wait to pay her friends in the wardrobe another visit. And she couldn't wait to tell Gran all about her adventure. Wow, that was really a magical gift she got from her grandmother. I'm sure Jenna must have had many more wonderful adventures once she entered the wardrobe the next time. Do you agree with me, sweet peas? Think about it. That's all for now. Take care till we meet next. Bye bye.